What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, the 5v5 Matchroom versus Queensberry is on June 1st. And the lineup is actually... In fact, no, is it the 5v5? Oh, tell I. You got the 5v5 on June 1st. And also, I'm sure Beterbiev versus Bivol. It must be. It was the same press conference. So, yeah. It's actually like... Obviously, Beterbiev isn't with Eddie Hearn. Sorry. Bivol's with Eddie Hearn, but Beterbiev isn't with Frank, so it could have been at 6v6, but who cares? The fact of the matter is, June 1st is more or less as fire as it gets. Yeah? Beterbiev versus Bivol at the top of it. Let me check again. I can't believe it's the same day, in the same situation. It must be though, the same press conference. Beterbiev, box rec. It must be the same thing. So I'm not sure who heads the bill. It must be Beterbiev and Bivol. There's no way that... Agree... Where is it? Where's the date? Schedule bout. Where's the date of it then? Oh yeah, first. It's the first. So listen, people. There's 6 fights in the 5v5 on that night. Beterbiev and Bivol is number 1. And then you got Wilder and Zhang, number 2. Then you got Hrgovich versus Dubois, number 3. And these other ones are a bit dead, but I'm a casual fan. I'm not hardcore, but maybe the hardcore cats like these fights. Never heard of none of them. I've heard of the Tamza guy, but I ain't really watched him none. So yeah, the fact of the matter is, there's at least 3 casual level fights. Off the rip, I've told you before, Beterbiev, he's fixing to smoke on Bivol. I've got a video coming later today or later this week. Eddie Hearn talking, he with a rah-rah again. Oh, Beterbiev, he disrespectful. Listen, Eddie. He disrespectfully going to knock the head off of Bivol. That's just what we know. Bivol can't punch. Bivol in there politicking with Craig Richards. Politicking with a whole bag of man. Yeah? You can't... Listen, if you're having life and death with Craig Richards... fact. Some people said he won that fight. I thought it was close. Craig Richards was on the arse in the back half of the fight. Oops. Yeah? Listen, I like Craig, yeah? Put Craig in there with Beterbiev. Oops. Yeah, then you'll see about disrespectful. Eddie, you don't know what disrespectful means. Yeah? For you calling Beterbiev disrespectful, it shows to me you don't have a good grasp on the English language. Because what Beterbiev would, never mind Craig Richards, what Beterbiev's going to do to Bivol is going to be disrespect. That's going to adjust the whole paradigm of what you believe the word meant. Like, damn. I was calling him disrespectful before he knocked Bivol head spark off. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying now. Yeah? If Eddie Hearn can sit there and say, oh, Beterbiev disrespectful, he ain't even took your man's head off next. When that head rolling, then you best believe it can roll. You can't punch. You can't punch. And even if that's the thing, Beterbiev, even if you can punch, it's a L for you. That's your booty. Do you understand? Don't matter if you can punch. Yard can punch. How it work out for him? Yeah, Tunde throwing a towel in somewhere. We don't know. 100%. I like Yard, but bottom line is the towel went in. Yeah? Anthony Yard team said, listen, Anthony, you're a good fighting man, but 100%. The towel is the ultimate confession. When your own people believe, for your safety, yeah? For another grown man's own safety, we must protect him. That's when you know you're in trouble. That's when you know the guy's dangerous. He got dudes, and all these teams, they're hard people, right? Boxing teams aren't, unless it's old Ben Davison, but boxing teams for the most part, they're not soft men. So for someone to throw a towel in, it's like, oh damn, this can go left. Real left, super left. Not a bit of this is going to be right. Do you understand? So Eddie, wind your beacon, man. I understand you got to back Bivol, but what I don't like about Eddie, I've digressed here, but what I don't rate about Eddie, yeah? Listen, when Eddie had Carrot Top, and I was there screaming, saying, Eddie, Bivol wants to fight against Carrot Top at 168. Make it happen for boxing. Eddie Hearn, oh, well, Bivol, you've been made a good offer for a 175 rematch, and you don't want it. Oh, yeah. But now Carrot Top's mugged him off. All of a sudden now he's like, yeah, I had a press conference. Oh, well, you know, I don't think Bivol got enough credit for his Canelo win. No, Eddie, you didn't think, or you didn't give Bivol the credit for his Carrot Top win. Yeah, if Eddie Hearn cared about boxing and not his coin, he'd have said, hey man, listen, Carrot Top, you got smoked. Yeah, and boxing needs to see you defend your belts at 168 against Bivol. That's what we need to see. Instead, Eddie Hearn is chasing the coin. Chasing that orange coin. Fact. It's corny. Yeah, so don't come along. Don't be a Johnny come lately. Yeah, don't be a Johnny come Hearnley. All of a sudden now you love Bivol so much. Yeah, and the problem with Eddie Hearn is he talked too much. He talk about Callum Smith. We don't even know where he head at. Where he head at? Who here know where Callum Smith head at? We still don't know. Yeah? We have to send that one out to the US Federal Marshals to try and find Callum Smith head. It rolling somewhere. We don't know. Yeah, 100%. Land, sea and air. We must search for Callum Smith Barnett. Knocked off. Spark off. By Beterbiev. And now you got the next one. Oh, that's the problem with promoters. They're not unbiased. They always... whatever fighter they've got, even if they're a bum, oh, my guy going to win. It's weak. It loses credibility. That's part of the reason why press conferences are so boring. Because you know that this team's going to say this and that team's going to say that. Eddie, Bivol, his arse is grass. And I'm glad though. I'm glad the odds don't reflect how bad it's going to be for Bivol. And yeah, I get things wrong, but this ain't one of them. This ain't one of the things I'm going to get wrong. It's going to be bad for Bivol. Can't punch. Can't punch, man. Beterbiev want this too bad. I like Bivol. But you don't have that extra bit, I don't believe. He don't have the... He can take a whooping, no doubt, Bivol, but that's what it'll take. You understand? He will take a whooping. And he will lose. He can't win. Yeah, because he's somewhere in there going laughing death with Greg Richards. Do you understand? And he can't punch. I don't think... Bivol's hit loads of people. He don't even stumble them. I believe I heard it anecdotally. He got stumbled by Joe Smith Jr. But Beterbiev gets in there and... Where Joe at? Again. Joe, Callum Smith, whoever you want. We don't even know where their men are right now. Never mind going 12 rounds of life and death with them. You understand? Knock them into the ether. Spark into the ether. But yeah, that's the main card. But again, I'm probably wrong. I always get things wrong. So Bivol probably go in there and Beterbiev looks silly and can't land a glove. Ooh, messy looking. But I believe Beterbiev going to smoke him. Oh my god. Come get that cat. It's pissing me off. Mutt. What was I saying? Hello? Do you know what I mean? You can't get the service these days. People just have moody animals. Everyone wants animal. What's wrong with people, man? Leave the animals alone. Let them roam around and shit. I don't know. Piss me off. Anyway. Hrgovich. Sorry, Wilder and Zhang. Wilder and Zhang's a banger. Obviously, both men got punched up. This is essentially the Joe Parker punched up sweepstakes. Yeah. Who got punched up the worst by Joe Parker? We're about to find out. Zhang let me down bad. Wilder let me down bad. That's the truth. Not as bad as Zhang. I thought Zhang was solid. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought, yeah, we know Wilder a bit flimsy around the chops. Right? We know that. We know his legs are about 2 inches in circumference. So, okay. We know Wilder's a one-trick pony. The trick kind of interesting. But Zhang was supposed to be... He can box. He can punch. What more do you really want? He's massive, 290. Joe Parker, who's had his best days... I'll tell a lie. Joe Parker's not had his best days. He's in his best days now, but at the time at least, it was fair to say, oh, Joe Parker's had his best days and he's falling off. Zhang gets it. Zhang's going up. He's just knocked Joyce out, Spark out. He's on the way up, and then he goes in there and he'll... Listen, Zhang can bang though. Unlike Wilder, Zhang's put down everyone that's decent. Wilder has not. Yeah, Zhang put down Joe Joyce. Popped his cherry. The juggernaut can't be touched cherry. This chin can't be touched cherry. He popped that. The man who beat the man. Yeah, Joyce beat Parker and Parker beat Zhang, but yeah, it's a bit messy. It's a bit messy how that works out, but nonetheless, Zhang put down Parker twice. Wilder couldn't even get close to putting Parker down, so Zhang is dangerous. So I have to lean towards Zhang. Zhang's going to be 290. We know Wilder don't do well with the bigger dudes putting it on him. That said, Zhang is a southpaw, so Wilder's going to be able to lay back in the cut, and that right hand's going to be all he has to focus on, essentially, for this fight. But Zhang's cute. He's a bit ponderous, though, but he's short and sharp with it. If Wilder goes in there and is over-leveraging and swinging, it's going to be a long night for him. If he can shorten it up, in some of the fights, I think it was Ortiz too. In Ortiz too, Wilder's really neat. So now what happens to that? He just kind of loses his head and goes all messy and goes all gangly. He starts fighting how he looks. Yeah, imagine a 6'7" daddy long legs with a pair of boxing gloves on his arms, essentially. Yeah. Imagine a 5'7" basketball playing daddy long legs with boxing gloves on its hands. That's what I think of when I think of Wilder. This, yeah, Stretch Armstrong looking ass dude. Can he catch Zhang? Could do. He could catch Parker, could he though? Parker's a bit more energetic and whatnot. Zhang ain't stupid. It's an interesting fight. Zhang's hurt everyone he's fought. Hrgovich, Parker, Joyce. Everyone he's fought he's hurt. Wilder can hurt people. He's not as consistent as Zhang though. In terms of gas tank, I don't think either man's gas tank's great. Well, we know Zhang's gas tank isn't great. Zhang lost the Hrgovich fight because of gas tank. Zhang lost the Parker fight because of gas tank. Wilder's gas tank isn't all that either. He was blowing against Fury twice in the last 2 fights. So, I mean, if Wilder's comfortable, if Wilder's in there with a 75-year-old Luis Ortiz, he's super calm. Yeah, because you know, listen, at 29, 30-year-old, you know a 65-year-old man's legs ain't ever going to be able to catch you slipping. It's one of them. Oh, this guy's 65, Luis Ortiz. What's he going to do? I'm going to see what he can do before he does it, because he's got 65-year-old kneecaps. Non-lubricated kneecaps. His kneecaps are dustified. So imagine having dustified kneecaps and trying to walk. It's like a mummified, sorry. Imagine having mummified kneecaps and trying to walk. It's going to be bait. Yeah, oh look, he dusty ass trying to move somewhere. Oh, boop, he spark out on the floor. Ortiz, as we saw. That's what we saw. Ortiz was there smiling. Ortiz got some work off in the second fight. Put his head up, put his chin right in the air, started smiling. Just bopped him square in his face, square in his chops, and then he laid there in the gynecological position. Ortiz did, with his heels into his glutes, just sitting there looking down like he just given birth to a big old turkey baby. So yeah, that's that fight done. Hrgovich and Dubois. This is interesting. You got to go with Hrgovich though. I don't know actually. Who'd you go with here? Well, one thing for sure, if it goes more than 6, it's Hrgovich all day. That's what we know. Yeah, because once Dubois get tired, he out of there. He's super out of there. He super duper out of there. He ain't hanging around even a bit to see if things turn left. He out. He ain't going to be on his Anthony Yard. Yeah, Anthony Yard and his team at least waited until things looked like... It wasn't, sorry. Anthony Yard and team waited until it was looking. Not even looking. Until it was left. There was nothing right about that Beterbiev fight when the towel was thrown in. Dubois ain't waiting for that, people. Not once. Not once has Dubois waited for his team to make the executive decision. He'd take it upon his big ass. Hey, I don't want to fight no more. Don't worry about throwing a towel in. No one... People, listen. Daniel Dubois' trainer, they don't bring no towels to his fights. Towel for what? Dan going to take it upon himself. He don't need a towel. Yeah? Fact. Daniel Dubois executes his God-given free will. Listen, boys, don't bring a towel because I'm fixing to jump on my knee when it gets tough. Don't worry about it. Yeah? You're relieved of your duty of towel throwing because I'm fixing to use these big old bull knees. Do you understand? For something decent. Because it ain't going to be fighting. One of them. Dubois ain't going to use his knees to bend them and dig in and twisting his waist and letting some hands go. No, he can use his knees to lay on them. And you get on his BLM and thing. But I'm joking around here. The actual fight's interesting. That's why I say this card it's up there, man. It's up there. I'm not sure what it's missing, to be honest. What would it be missing? It's got something for the hardcores. The Beterbiev and Bivol is pure hardcore. And really, it should be kind of casual as well, but the casuals won't hear about it. If you go to a local gym or whatever and ask someone about Beterbiev and Bivol, they wouldn't have a clue, but it should be. It's that kind of fight. It's a bit like Crawford and Spence, to be fair. No one really knew about that either. But this right here is an industry fight. Oh, that's probably what it is missing, actually. What this is missing is, it's missing that casual fight. There's not really a casual fight on here. Zhang, is he a casual name? No. Wilder's probably a casual name, but he's fighting Zhang. Hrgovich, Dubois, is it a casual fight? No. So I'd say this is the best industry card that's been made. It's the only thing it's missing is, I guess you could call it a main event, essentially. But the sum, or the average, is super high here, if that makes sense. There's no 10-10 Fury Usyk, but it's got everything else that cards normally don't have. Normally that's all you get. On Fury versus Usyk, you get that fight and then a bunch of bumps. This has the average rating. This card on its own is better than Fury and Usyk's as a total. So let's say you scored this card, including Beterbiev and Bivol, out of 10. You might give it an 8.5. The Fury card, including Fury and Usyk, it won't be more than an 8. It won't be more than 7.5. Once you average it out. So in terms of the consistent quality in this card, it's probably one of the best cards ever in the history of the game, to be honest. I mean, Hrgovich and Dubois, that could be a headliner in its own right. DeWilder and Zhang, that could be a headliner in its own right. Beterbiev and Bivol, that is a headliner in its own right. So you've got 3 fights here that are headliners in their own right. And I'm a casual fan, so I know this. Yeah, I'd tune in to watch Hrgovich versus Dubois as a headliner. The same way the other night, who did I watch? Oh, that was it. Wardley versus Clark. This is bigger than that though, in terms of clout. Wilder versus Zhang, I'd tune in independently. Beterbiev versus Bivol, I'd tune in independently. 3 independent casual level fights. Wicked. Does it transcend into the worldwide fighting community? No. For my benefit, it don't need to. Yeah? Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Wicked show. Smash the like button, subscribe, like up the bell, 100%, no doubt.